So somebody was
Hello?
a question on automation, and I answered, and I said that you should start
Yeah.
with the.
Yes, please.
Okay, I answered, and I said that you should start with the technology that your company is using to develop their website. If you're just getting to know.
Okay.
But if you don't know the particular technology, the number one automation uh, tool out there is Selenium. Selenium. Selenium
Okay.
has two parts. Selenium has the Selenium IDE, which is just drag and drop. You can learn that. You can learn that. Anybody can learn that. Everybody can learn that. Selenium drag and drop, Selenium IDE. Then there is the Selenium WebDriver, which uses C Sharp. So you need to learn C Sharp. I can send you resources on links on how to learn C Sharp as if you are in primary school. They started very basic, so anybody can get
Okay.
into it. Automation is
Okay.
hard. What most people do is they see it and they run. You just need to learn just the very basic of C Sharp. You don't need to get into like really big details. Let me tell you guys, one of the secrets of the code is to know how to read this the code, to know how to read like the C Sharp code or the SQL code. You should be able to at least read it. You know why? You can open the change set. You can open the changes that were made programmatically, which is what they call the change state. And you can just try to read what the developer was trying to do. For example, a developer will tell you, for example, we're testing CNN.com and we're trying to put an advert on the main page of CNN.com. The developer will tell you, I never touched the About Us page. I never touched the About Us page. I only touched the main page without going to the About Us specific page. But when you begin to open the change set or the code that he made changes to, you can see that he did touch About Us page and he might have forgotten. He's not trying to lie to you or whatever. He might have forgotten. So if that's the case, then you know that, okay, these are the areas he touched, and then you want to test those areas or regress those areas in case you go and find an issue. Is that okay?
Okay.
So, for
All
us
right.
that are automation, you need to have a very good handle of manual testing terms, technologies. If you cannot speak the language, we cannot even trust you to test. You understand? You're not gonna know everything, but you should know at least the general stuff. Like one of the things you can do for yourself is say, if I'm interviewed for a QA position right now, can I pass it? So you need to go look at all the 100 questions that they ask at 100 questions that they ask at a QA interview. From there, you can see all the terms and the technologies, so all the terms and terminologies that are common for you to learn. Because if you talk the talk, you walk the walk. If you don't speak the talk, don't talk the talk, you can't even walk the walk. Nobody's gonna let you walk the walk. Okay?
Okay. Thank you very
Okay,
much.
anybody have a question? We still have maybe 10 more minutes.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes. We're all unmuted, so we can talk here.
Okay, yes, please. For how long have you been doing quality assurance, and how did you get into the field?
Okay, so I already answered this question in the first session where it was before you guys got in. But for the benefit of everybody else, I'm gonna just say it here. I got into QA from customer service. So let's say you're working with MTN, Niger Mobile, you're working with Access Bank, or wherever you can get your foot in, get your foot into a company that has maybe a quality assurance job, but maybe that job is not open. So I went into a company that hired me as a customer service slash sales agent slash chat agent. Okay, and I knew when I got in that I wanted to be QA, but I knew that I needed to be in a company where I can do a lateral transfer, I believe. So after 2 years as a customer service agent, I kept asking people in the engineering department whether they have any position for QA. They said they don't. When they do, they'll let me know. So every time I see them in the break room, I run through them. Hey guys, how is the engineering department? How is the IT department doing? Which is computer engineering. How is the IT department doing? They say fine. Like what about that QA position? I kept asking, and they said we don't have it yet. But one day they said they do, and that they're trying to hire people from outside. But I'm like, wait a minute, I'm already in the company. I'm passionate about this. I know a little bit of the tools and a little bit of the terms. I wasn't very good, but I had my passion. Like I was saying in the first session, there are three things you need as a QA: passion, tools, and technologies. You need to know the tools, you need to know the technology, and the domain. Domain is the traditional, or what I will call the generic knowledge about the company software. So for CNN, you will need to know about CNN before you start working for CNN. You can't just say you've never opened CNN.com, you don't know what that is, and you want to go work for CNN. No, you have to know all about CNN, all their little what they call landing pages, all their maybe even try to know the technology behind it. Then when the opportunity came, I knocked, they opened it. So for me, I've been in QA for 8 years. That company gave me a break, and I got in for 6 years. And I've been in another company. I've been in other companies. I'm currently still in QA. Um, I've worked with some of the five Fortune 500 companies here in the U.S. I worked with Cody. There's a company called Cody, although it was just a brief thing because I left because of the distance. The Cody is in about maybe 19 to 20 countries, the company. So um, I have worked with AutoZone, where I used to work, has about 50,000 employees. You know, so I work with big companies and I work with little companies. But the issue is not whether you're starting off with a big company or a little company. Whoever can give you a QA opportunity, you take it and learn and get better and then move on. Okay. So thank you for the question. Someone else wants to ask a question real quick. We have maybe 9 more minutes or 7 minutes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome for.
I thought someone else wanted to ask. All right. Hello.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, I'm just wondering what your. I want to know if you've done QA in Nigeria before. One, then two, what's your typical day like working day abroad as a QA engineer?
Okay, so uh, I never did QA in Nigeria. When I came back here, I got into the US and I realized that there was something called QA and people in Nigeria didn't tell me. I was so mad because if I had known there was this opportunity, and let me just add, QA is global. You don't need to work in Nigeria. You can be in Nigeria working for people in India. You can be in Nigeria working for people in the US. So that's the good thing about QA. So when I found out that there's something called QA and it's not that hard to get into, and people were not telling me about it when I was back home, at least to learn and tell me that will help me, I was not impressed. I said, wait, you guys are making me learn stuff. I'm not a graphic artist naturally. You could have told me to learn SQL. We know Oracle is everywhere, but really I didn't hear of SQL. I was hearing only Oracle. Oracle is a technology that is good. They use it here in the US. But almost every company that develops uses SQL, which is SQL. So the first thing that I was like, why didn't they ask me SQL? Just learning SQL alone opens an opportunity for you. You can be a QA, which is a quality analyst. You can be a BI analyst, which is a business intelligence analyst. You can be a business analyst. there's so many things you gotta be and you can be just learning SQL, which is a tool for QA. So when I got here, I had to learn SQL. It is similar to Access, Microsoft Access. Some of us that know Microsoft Access. It's similar to Microsoft Access, but it's not using the UI. It's not using, you're using queries. You're writing queries. You're not using, taking it from a list. So for me, the journey has been fun. The journey has been fun. And I wish I got in when I was way younger. I would have really moved up. But you can see this is not a barrier here or anywhere when it comes to QA. Don't mind my gray hair here, but it's just I'm not that old. But again, it's not a barrier. So whatever age you are in right now is the right age to get in. And if you're passionate and you persevere, you can get a global job. I hear people trying to move to Canada, which is the thing now. I hear people trying to go to Australia or even come to the US. If you want to come ready, if you're moving overseas, you want to let the company know they need you. You shouldn't be releasing software that is not tested because anybody can crack it, anybody can penetrate it, and the company shuts down. People like Jumia, Hotels.ng, which is being ran by a childhood friend. Those are places you can go knocking and asking for opportunity. You don't need to even wait for them to say they have a QA role. If you know your stuff, you can start applying at companies that you know need QA, might not even have a QA department because it might still be new. But the good news is that Nigeria is adopting, and not just Nigeria, Africa is adopting all the things that are coming out from US. Did I answer your question?
Oh, yeah. No. What I bring enough. What
Hello.
will you repeat again?
Sorry, I was saying, did
God's
I
grace.
answer?
I don't understand.
Sorry?
Where is God's grace? I told her to sweep this place.
Uche, please, can you go on mute?
I think Uche and Franklin, you need to, and Siska, you need to mute.
I've forgotten that I was talking. You were hearing what all we were discussing.
Oh,
That's
Hello.
yes.
All right. Yes, you.
Yeah. Hello.
I'm hearing you guys. Any more questions, or
Yeah.
else I can ask the question? Yeah, go ahead, please.
You made mention of the tools of an ID that is a drag and drop. What's the name of that again?
So that is called the Selenium IDE. Selenium, Selenium. Now, guys, there's what we call codeless automation. So when you say you're an automation engineer, you can be a codeless automation engineer. Basically meaning that you're doing automation engineering, but you're not using any code. You're not writing any code. You don't need to worry about writing C sharp if you feel you cannot grab it. Okay? So let me give you an example. You can go to, I'm using a local technology company there, Jumia, right? Jumia? So you can go to Jumia and you can automate code without using, without writing C sharp. So there are 102, codeless automation tools out there. Example of the one I know that is codeless. I can just send a list to you guys later on. But this allows you to program by dragging and dropping. You drag it and drop it, and then you click the run, the execute button, and it goes and adds things to the cart, does the checkout, and tells you whether the payment passed or failed. Okay, guys? So Selenium IDE does that, but there's so many new ones. Some you have to pay for it, some is free. But it means that now we're not scared of getting into a company that says they have automation. You know why? Because we can learn the automation, or assuming we have influence, we can tell them to go codeless. Why? If they go codeless, they don't have to pay you so much money to bring in like an expatriate or somebody to do all the tough one. If they go codeless, you can just automate without writing codes, okay?
Okay. Talking about the codes for the automation that deals with code, is this C sharp that is involved only, or is there any other language?
All right, so that's a good question, Omar Dion. Very good question because it depends on who you're working for. Most people learn what is the prevalent code. The prevalent code or the most common code out there that people are learning, programming language that people are learning is either C, C Sharp, or Python, and Java. Okay, so C, C Sharp, Python, and Java. So people, when they learn C Sharp, they find out that Java is not hard. It's similar. You learn Java, C Sharp is not complex. It's similar. So any programming language you can learn basically know the rest. It's just a little bit of difference between them. It's like speaking a language and having dialects of the language. So, but I recommend finding out what's the most common language that's being used in the country. I think most people are using C Sharp because it's not hard, and you can learn that. And to say that there are places you can learn it for free. Just like you're teaching you quality, there are places that you can learn, and I think those resources, if Veronica can send it to you, I can send it to you if you want to learn programming, and we can also have a coach in-house. But let me tell you guys, QA has to do with a lot of self-learning, a lot of self-learning. So what Testify NG is doing is basically what I would say God sent. Because any QA knows its method, any QA that knows his or her stuff knows that forever and ever she's gonna be learning new stuff on her own. So this is an opportunity for you to actually show you're a QA before you really become a QA. I will say
All right.
this.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. I will say this: 60 to 70% of the thing I know in QA, even maybe up to 80%, I learned by myself. The other 10% is from the office, and the other 10% is from colleagues outside of the office. So you got to do a lot of self-learning, but it's interesting, it's exciting, it's rewarding, and you can like right now I can be employed in any part of the world really, okay? Because I know I can work in I'm in San Diego, California. I can go to Houston, Texas. I can go to Dubai to go work. I can work anywhere because the technology and the language and everything is the same. We speak the same language. So if you learn the terms and the technologies and the language over there, is the same if you decide to move to Port Harcourt or even go to Ghana or go to Canada or come to the US. And another language that everybody learned, which I shared earlier on, everybody learned, is SQL, SQL. That one is not hard to learn. So you can learn SQL right now. Start learning SQL right now. C Sharp is a little bit difficult depending on your ability. The SQL, everybody needs to know it. It's like Microsoft Access, advanced form of Microsoft Access. I think those are some of the things that Testify will teach us and make sure we understand. Okay? Anybody else have a question?
Yeah, and please, I would need the resource for the C sharp you said you have.
Yes, I will make those available to us. I will give you the two things that you need. There's one thing everybody needs to learn, which is SQL. The other thing is whether you're a manual tester or automation engineer, you need SQL. If you want to become an automation engineer, then you need C Sharp or learn Python or Java. And I'll send you. But for SQL, we're going to give you the introduction here at Testify, and we'll give you resources so you can learn it on your own. And let me tell you guys, You can actually install SQL today, start learning it today. I did tell the executive here that all the other mentors that I might just start a class for SQL, what I call an advanced class. But we need to make sure you guys are taking your classes seriously. You're doing the simple assignments because then we can go to some advanced stuff. Okay, so I can do an and give you guys real life example of what we're using. Okay, and with SQL, you can actually work as a quality analyst with SQL. You can actually work as a business intelligence analyst. I think I was mentioning this earlier, but I don't know if you caught it. You can actually work as a
Yes.
business analyst with SQL. So SQL is so important that you can run reports for people using SQL. As long as they capture something in Excel, if they capture something in Excel and they capture something in Excel, you can use SQL to give them a report. So you can even run reports for colleges and schools. Because if you ask the University of Lagos how many people did not pay last month or whatever for their school fees, that information will take them forever to get. So the engineers that work with Unilag, they don't need hours. They need like 20 minutes to put together a query and the answer comes. So everybody needs to learn SQL. Okay. Any other question or else I'll be rounding up right now.
Okay, yeah, I have a question. So, like you said earlier, you said there are three things we need as a QA. You mentioned two. So, what do you mean according to twos?
Yeah, I mentioned three things. QA. One is your passion, two are tools and technologies, and three is your domain knowledge. That's the knowledge of
Domain.
domain that you're working with. So when I say tools, I think somebody asked about the tools for automation. So those are the tools. Tools are like imagine a carpenter going to construct a shed, tool shed, or a shed for somebody, like like stuff. He needs his hammer, he needs his nails, and he needs his gloves and sewing machine or something. So tool simply means you need SQL. That's it. You don't really need to know C sharp. You don't need to know C sharp. You need to know simple tools like Jira. You need to know Jira is a tool that is used to record your test cases. What are the tools you are using to record your test cases? Right now, we are teaching you how to use it. Right? It from
Mr. Edgar, I'm sorry, I can't hear you. Uchi, please, can you go on mute? I can't hear you, please. Mr. Abraham, we can't hear you. I don't think you can hear us.
I don't think so. I think we'll probably have to send a message or something. No.